feeling. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die trying, want me switch lanes. I'm always getting better, I'ma be your fifth place. On this one, then fourth on the next. Third, second, first, fourth, for the best. She showing love, give me all the raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Huff and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Huff and puff and blow the house down. I do it for the love, they perform for the checks, and I still get more. They be bored by the rest. I done put the work in, wasn't born in success. See the storm, it affects the performance. But I dance in the rain and the thunder, the drums, and I'll keep going hard. I won't stop till I'm done. From the bottom to the top, I'm the one. I can drop in a month, I'll be back at the top. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Yeah, we blow the house down. Yeah, we blow the house down. Big moves, we shake the ground. All the greats who came before us, we about to make them proud. We've got to make this count. Take the ball and raise it now. Make noise, you're crazy loud. It's all moment, let me hear you shout. Don't give up, we can turn it round. We got the fire, we burn it down. Yo, I pop champagne at the back of the club. Yo, I'm back with a sweat, tears, back with a blood. How to get it out of mud, kinda like Predator. Get to the chopper, pockets getting fatter, so she call me Big Baba. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket train, the bomb busting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the praise? You're the home of the brave. Just to say, stand of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yeah, for the land of the free. In the
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxspeedTV.
Welcome, race fans, to another Saturday night episode of MaxspeedTV. Stephen Lane up in the booth with you tonight here at Talladega with the OP Racing Buttkicker Unlimited Series. Of course, everybody knows that we have switched from the trucks on Saturday night to the Xfinity cars. These guys are still in practice doing some hot laps or some pit party out there as you see them coming through the track on the Skyview. I do apologize if I'm not my regular energetic self right now. I've been having some stuff going on in my personal life. Lost a really good, she was a family member. I called her, my other mom, found out at 3:30 this morning she gained her wings. So please, while you're saying your prayers for Anthony and Joshua on their recovery, of course, we're still praying for them. Did talk to Anthony yesterday. He said he's doing better. They were hoping he'd get to go home today. But if you guys would say a little prayer for me and my family as we are dealing with this difficult loss. She has basically watched me grow up and has just been like another mom to me, and took it pretty hard this morning. But if you guys would please say a prayer for me and my family as well. But show must go on, folks, so we're going to get right into everything. Looking at our race info here at Talladega tonight. The temperature outside right now at a balmy 89 degrees. Or that may be the track temperatures at 89 degrees, 72 degrees, air temperature, 87% humidity. Partly cloudy and pretty windy out there tonight at 14 degrees. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. And I believe still trying to learn where everything is at here. There we go, our weather information right there. We are at a 74 degree air temperature with a track temperature of 99 degrees. Again, 15 mile an hour winds out there on the track tonight. Not much as far as points to talk about, but we do have our winner from last week, Vicente Guerrero, with the win last week. You kind of look through the list there. We are in the second round right now, so this is our second race of the season. So everything's kind of spread out at the moment. A couple of ties there between David Stringle and Gabe Butler. But looking through the field, rounding out your top 20 right now will be the 849 of Mr. Stacy, I believe his name. I'm trying to find him out here. Not seeing him out on the track right now or even in the session. Of course, our race sponsor, David Overstreet, out there in chat. The Checker Flag Motorsports 250 here at Talladega. Dave, glad you could join us out there in chat land. Sorry you couldn't make it in. But we understand life happens, and, well, it is what it is. So we're still getting used to this new overlay system, SDK. Again, partnered up with Nerditudes to get this new overlay out here and looking really good. So big shout out to Peter DeBorja, Dustin, Logston. Them guys done an amazing job of getting me set up and somewhat trained on SDK. But again, guys, I do apologize if I'm just not my energetic self like normal. These guys got about 2 minutes left of qualifying. Let's see. I'm not seeing. Well, there he is. Let's see where he is at. I believe he is out on the track. These guys are making their way around the track right now, so we're not going to visit with our last week's winner. He comes here, we'll get him up here. But again, guys, I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I know Brendan Kennedy's out there, Daniel Parent, Ginger Parent, of course, our race sponsor tonight, David Overstreet. Again, big shout out to David. Also, big shout out to our green flag sponsor tonight for this season. Again, is Chevyland.com, Shreveport, Louisiana. For a new or pre-used or pre-owned vehicle, go to Chevyland.com. Look at their selection. Of course, if you are in the lower 48 states and you can't make it, you find something you like, you get it by, they will deliver it to you. So Chevyland.com, again, Shreveport, Louisiana. Big shout out to them at Bubba Winningham for the green flag sponsorship for this season. About a minute left in practice here, guys. We are rounding it down. Again, like I said, I talked to Joshua the other day as well. Joshua's starting to sound like his old self. Of course, Anthony, we haven't heard from him today, so I don't know if he did get to go home. I'm sure he'll probably pop into chat in a little while. He can give us an update how he's doing, how he's feeling whenever he comes in. But right now, we are looking at about a 36-car field. Looking at my timing screen. Of course, we got several different screens to look at now. So, again, big shout out to Nerditudes for hooking me up with the graphics and the SDK overlay. They are wrecking in practice here. The checker flag does come out, so they will be qualifying here shortly. We're going to go ahead and turn that off and get our qualifying bar pulled up. That way you can see the times as they roll in. Looking through the field, Bubba Winningham, Jeremy Stanley, John Guerrero, Everett Lane, Vincent Guerrero, or Vicente Guerrero, Stephen Miles, Jimmy Reynolds, Steve Rada, Mark Mann, Rick Seabrands out there, Dustin Logston. Of course, we got to look at Rick Sanchez's car. Let me find him. Where he is he at? Take a look at his car. He has X'd out the 5. It looks like DX got a hold of his car and painted the 44 on his car. So that is a shout out to, of course, our good friend Anthony English. We're still praying for you, buddy, for a speedy recovery, get you back out here on the track. I thought that was pretty cool. Even done the cover up of the Dirty Hooker fishing lures with the mellow yellow for Anthony, because he runs, I believe he runs that mellow yellow car here on Saturday night. So awesome job, Rick. Big shout out to you, buddy, for doing that. As Rick is coming out on his for his qualifying lap. Of course, Saturday night we do have unlimited GWCs up to 15. And I believe we are still at 1 fast repair. Bubba Winningham out on the track, as well as Everett Lane, Jimmy Reynolds. Steve Rada out on the track, getting his qualifying lap in. Stuart Broderick coming off of pit road. Gary Bergeron out there as well. Andy Brigante. Alex Green out there. Stephen Luttrell, Dustin Sorber, Doug Johnson, Gabe Butler, Kenneth Bishop. Brandon Pfeiffer out on his qualifying, as well as Scott Wise, CJ Erdman. Of course, Dana Shepard out there as well. I know Daniel Parent and Ginger Parent out there in chat rooting on Dana. As our time's coming in, Gabe Butler right now sitting on the pole with a 54.72. I'm trying to see if I can get that. Let's see here. Trying to see if I could get my times up there, but I ain't gonna be able to do it right now. Where it's a little easier for me to see, but right now Gabe Butler is your pole sitter. Everett Lane in second with a 54.74. We actually got a three-way tie. Rick Sanchez with the 54.74, same as Jimmy Reynolds. Trying to get my cameras back here, folks. As Andy Brigante is laying down his qualifying lap. As he is coming to the start-finish line. I'm going to see where that puts him. Currently, Andy is in 15. Nate Warren is done with his qualifying lap. Adam Kilday coming out on to the track. Stephen Miles knocking Gabe Butler off by 1/100 of a second. A 54.71 for Stephen. Great lap. I hope everybody is having a good weekend so far. Well, looks like that is pretty much going to do it. As Adam Kilday is in a 22nd spot. Vicente Guerrero tying Stephen Miles for that pole position, but it looks like Vicente is going to get it, so we're going to go ahead and bring Vicente up to the broadcast booth. Vicente, awesome job, man. You and Steven actually tied on time. I guess it come down to the millisecond, buddy, but looks like you're going to be getting the pole tonight, so congratulations. Also, congratulations on your win last week, buddy.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, it feels good to be staying up front at least. Hopefully it'll keep me out of trouble.
Well, I was fixing to say, that's what it usually takes at these super speedways is get out front, stay out front. If you fall back, again, staying out of trouble. Of course, tire wear shouldn't be too big of an issue here at Talladega.
Yeah, I hope not. Hope not. Hopefully there's no tire issue tonight.
Well, awesome job, buddy. Congratulations. We're going to get you back down to your team, and good luck tonight, brother.
Thanks, Steven.
All right. Well, that's going to go ahead. We're going to get on Mr. Vicente Guerrero. Actually, we'll get on Steven because Vicente hasn't gridded yet, but we're going to go ahead and get our grid pulled up here. Vicente Guerrero, your pole sitter. To his outside will be the number 8 machine of Stephen Miles. Gabe Butler in third. In fourth on his outside will be Everett Lane, row number 3. The number 5 of Rick Sanchez, X'd out 44, I should say. Starting his outside to be the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Starting row number 4, the 59 of John Guerrera. His outside will be the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Starting row number 5 will be the 27 of Sean Stevens. To his outside, the 388 of Doug Johnson. Starting row number 6 will be the 31 of Scott Wise. His outside will be the 543 of Payson Lindsay. And starting row number 7 will be the 963 of CJ Urban. To his outside will be the 924 of Kenneth Bishop. Starting row number 8 on the inside, the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. To his outside will be the 43 of Dana Shepard. Starting row number 9, the inside will be the 6 of Bubba Winningham. His outside will be the 13 of Andy Brigante. Starting row number 10 will be the 3 of Alex Green. To his outside will be the 16 of Nate Warren. The starting row number 11 and 38 of Thomas Lockwood. To his outside, the 85 of Adam Kilday. The starting row number 12 will be the old 49 of Nick Wing. To his outside, the 538 of Dustin Swerver. Starting row number 13 will be the 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. To his outside will be the 03 of Steven Rada. Starting row number 14, the number 10 of Gary Bergeron. To his outside will be the 01 Studer Broderick. The starting row number 15 will be the 56 of Mike Edgerton. On his outside will be the number 4 of Rick Seabrand. The starting row number 13 of, we already said that. Starting row number 16, 81 of Dustin Logston. To his outside, the 06 of Andrew Zonto. Starting row number 7, the 04 of Mr. Mark Mann. To his outside will be the 78 of Chris Jordan. I believe that is going to round out our field. 34 cars tonight. Unless I'm missing something, but that is where we're at. We got 36 cars actually out on the track. As we look back through the field here. Got a couple of cars that must be starting from the pit road. I am not seeing them. Well, there's Mark Mann back there towards the back of the field. Ryan Callahan there as well. Here we go, folks, into the start zone. Green flag in the air. Boogity, 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 folks. Racing here at Talladega tonight. Round number 2 for the CFM Checker Flag Motorsports 250. Get our qualifying off. We'll look at our top 5. Actually, we'll go top 10 right now. Guerrero, Miles, Butler, Lane, Sanchez, Reynolds, Stanley, Guerrera, Johnson, and Stevens. Looking at our battle for position here. Vicente Guerrero up front right now. He's got the 088 of Gabe Butler right behind him with Rick Sanchez on the inside. To the outside, Stephen Miles, Everett Lane. It looks like that is who is running tonight. I believe that is going to be Jimmy Reynolds. We'll take a look at a chase cam here. Yep, running the 44 Traxxas car for Anthony tonight. These guys making their way around for lap number 2. Wrapping up. Vicente Guerrero still out front. Stephen Miles, Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Rick Sanchez, your top 5. Looking back here towards the back. kind of single file, starting with Mike. Actually, starting with Gary first. We go 3 wide up here. Jeremy Stanley looks like to the outside. I believe is who that is. That may be. Trying to see if that is. Showing 37 on the car. That's Nicholas Queen. We're looking up here. Where is it at? That's showing 49 to the 924 of Kenneth Bishop out on that outside line. Going 3 wide, Steve Rodder right behind him. The 01 is Stuart Broderick. That is Stephen Trail jumping up to that outside line. Now the number 9 going out high, but he's coming down on the 54 of Brandon Pfeiffer. Got Brandon kind of in a tight spot there. Nowhere for him to go. Has to check up a little bit, but we are still 3 wide. That is Rick Seaver. 49 of Kenneth, actually 2 924 of Kenneth Bishop. Now they're kind of falling back into side-by-side racing here, folks. Mike Edgerton running that second lane. Mark Mann coming up beside him. Let's go ahead and hide that for a minute. We'll put our driver bar up here to see who we're talking about. We'll back up to the front here, folks. Vicente Guerrero still out front. Stephen Miles to the outside, getting a push by Everett Lane and the 44 of Jimmy Reynolds. On that outside line, Vicente Guerrero, Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, John Guerrera on that inside line. Well, there's the 60 of Jeremy Stanley trying to make a run up there too with those guys. 388 Douglas Johnson. Doug Johnson trying to get close that gap right there. Is Dana Shepard right behind him. Kind of a little checkup as we're getting loose. Oh, we caught that right there, folks. That is going to bring out our first caution of the night. We see that happening right there. We're going to get up here. We're going to go ahead and, well, let's pause that. So we get a rewind on that. And then we're going to get up here to that happened. Right there with Mr. Sanchez. Whoa. I don't know what that was. That almost looked like netcode made his car jump. Right there. Not sure. That was some net code. Nowhere for John Guerrero to go. Gets into the back of Rick Sanchez, who gets into the 60, right up into Doug Johnson. Dana Shepard getting a little piece of it. The 16 of Nate Warren involved. There goes a hood of Andy Brigante. As it just collects Doug Johnson, Dustin Logston, Steve Rada. That looked like Stephen Luttrell. All the smoke, guys. That was a big one. Well, I don't know if Rick will want to talk to us or not, but we're going to see if we can figure out where is Mr. Rick Sanchez. We'll see if we can't get a quick word with Rick. Rick, Steve, got a copy there, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, we were looking at this replay, man. That almost looked like netcode just sent your car sideways.
I think that's one of the old instant brick wall right in front of you blow up. I don't know what it is that just tears your front end up. Yeah, I had to tell you I was gone. Instantly gone. The engine was gone.
Well, we just wanted to kind of get your feel of what you felt. I mean, of course, looking
That's what it looked like to me. I've been through that before.
Okay.
It's just out of nowhere. It's been a long time, but a couple years. But yeah, I've had one of those before.
Well, that's kind of.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the first time I've seen anything like that, especially on a super speedway where it just jerks the car like that, almost like you blew it higher. But man, that was just some weird netcode, brother.
Yeah. Ain't much you can do about it.
Well,
hang on, see if I can get these laps back.
There you go. Well, we're going to look at your car. We're looking at your car right now. Of course, your homage to Anthony with that DX green marked out with the 44. I was looking at that during practice. I thought that was really cool, man.
Yeah, I got somebody vandalized my car and didn't have enough time to rewrap it. But it's happened before, and I'm kind of starting to think it's an inside job.
Yeah, it very well could be, brother. All right, man. Well, man, I hope you have a better race, and we just wanted to get, as our viewers wanted to get your bird's eye view of it, so to speak.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere, man. I wasn't hot or nothing, so it didn't blow up. It just one of those things.
All right, brother. Well, good luck, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
I'll get him back down there. And let's see where he is. We're going to go ahead. And I know David's not up here or in the race tonight, but we're going to get the next best thing. Bubba out there on the track. Of course, Checker Flag Motorsports sponsoring tonight's race. Give a shout out to you and David O, Bubba, for what you guys do over there at Checker Flag.
You know, my old buddy David O, I wish he could be here tonight. I know he had something going on, but we are happy relatives of the good old guys over here at OP and love our Saturday night OP racing and enjoy Sunday nights. But I like the spirit of camaraderie between the two leagues, and we're happy to be growing as we built that relationship with these guys and vice versa. And here we are at Talladega, and on lap number 4, burning fast prepared, so I'm going to ease back a little bit and just enjoy the ride for a while.
That's right. Well, of course, big shout out to you, Bubba and Chevland, for the partnership with MaxspeedTV, Green Flag sponsor again this season. So, of course, we've been talking about Chevland and everything that you guys do down here. You guys do deliver.
We deliver to the 48 states out here, so go to Chevrolet.com anytime. Give me a call. I'll be glad to help you out. Hey, big shout out to Joshua at Medlock. Keep on getting better, buddy. Look forward to seeing you back behind the mic. And also Anthony English, best wishes to you out there too, buddy. Hope you can get well soon. Continue recovery, and can't wait to get back here on track with you, man.
Well, it looks like you guys are back Green Flag Racing, Bubba, so we're going to let you go. Trying to down there with the other guys, man.
All righty, have a good broadcast.
Yeah, put him back down there in Team 5. Of course, right now, Stephen Miles is your leader. Belva out there tuning in. How are you doing, Belva? It's good to see you out there. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Get our top back up there. Of course, Everett Lane out on the outside line with Gabe Butler. Of course, Stephen Miles, 14 Guerrero, running together in the same team room tonight. Really no team, so to speak, up here on Saturday night, but you guys do get together, run together, and try to come up with some strategy. Of course, when it comes towards the end of the race, pretty much every man for himself. Well, let's see where. Looking through the field, Dana is back in 12th position. Caught a little piece of that, but I don't think it hurt him too bad. John Guerrero getting pushed back here to 19. Of course, John getting a piece of that wreck a while ago. Unfortunate, wrong place, wrong time. Here is the 4 of Rick Seabrand in 24th. Payson Lindsay in 25th. I don't know why it said Stephen Miles, but here we go. Jeremy Stanley looking to the outside with the 31 of Scott Wise, making it 3 wide here, folks, at Talladega. Of course, Talladega, big wide track. Can run 3 wide fairly comfortably here and actually get pretty close. A little bit smoggy out there looking across the field, but that is the 31 of Scott Wise, the 60 of Jeremy Stanley, the 81 of Dustin Logston, and then it's supposed to be the 924 of Kenneth Bishop running that 3rd lane. The guys are trying to make it run. Stephen Miles, he is going to need another lap. Let's see here. Unfortunately, it won't let me do that because it is right there. We are going to go ahead and look at our splits here. We'll turn off the top 10. Looks like Doug Johnson back in 31st, Adam Kilday in 32nd, Mike Edgerton 33rd, Steve Rod in 34th, Sean Stevens 35th, and Ryan Callahan back here in 36th. Now Dustin Logston out there on the high line as a 963. That is CJ Erdman in the middle. Vicente Guerrero getting pushed out to the front by the 24 of Everett Lane. That'd be the old 88 of Gabe Butler right behind Everett. Now Vicente's dropping it down in front of the 8 of Stephen Miles. And the 44, that will be Mr. Jimmy Reynolds running the 44 car for Anthony English tonight. Trying to get caught up on everything here on this other side. Several of the cars involved in that wreck. Dana Shepard making a move up to 11th. Down on the inside line, trying to get closer to Gary Bergeron in that 1 car. It's supposed to be the 10 car. We are lap 15 and 94, that 3rd lane trying to get something going. Dustin Logston, the 49 or 924, Kenneth Bishop, and the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Jeremy getting pretty close to that wall. Well, here comes, or that number 9 looked like he was trying to make a run up there, but kind of lost the draft. Start finish line, starting lap number 17 or 16 completed. Working on lap 17. Of course, Vicente down on the bottom. Stephen Miles up on that 2nd lane. And Everett Lane out on the outside looking at 3 wide. Everett went out there. No help went with him. Looking down at that front, coming down the back. Everett does have help down with the 81 at Dustin Logston. Ooh, that was loud. That was even loud for me, folks. Well, thank you, Brendan. Again, I've got to give a shout out to Dustin and the guys over at Nerditudes setting all of this up. And, you know, of course, I had to go out and get the SDK overlays. But they've done an amazing job on the graphics, the leaderboard, all of that. They've done an outstanding job as we are 3 wide, about 4 rows, 5 rows deep now. They're coming through, 3 and 4. Going to come back around and come across that line. Ooh, Gabe Butler with the big move to the outside. 24 of Everett Lane, the 81 of Dustin Logston. Kenneth Bishop in the 49 car, but he's actually supposed to be the 924. And Jeremy Stanley's, we got a car with a missing hood. That is the 3 car. That is Steve Rada. Looking to see. Oh, we got a wreck here, folks. Another big one. And guys getting, Lynn McNeese getting turned. We're going to... Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to do here, folks. Give me just a second. That brought out a caution. Where is my mouse at? That started up at the front. As you see the cars involved, Sean Stevens, Adam Kilday. Let's see if I can get on my chase cam here. Getting up here to where this happened at. It looked like that happened right here. It looked like a checkup. Nope. Looks like the same thing might have happened to Rick Sanchez. We are back live. Honestly, it looked like the same thing happened to Rick Sanchez that happened a while ago. I'm looking back through my events here. Looking to see Man, this thing moves so fast, it's hard for me to keep up with what happened. Well, lights on the pace car are out, folks. A lot of stuff happening right there that, well, I just couldn't quite figure out what happened. It looked like those Sanchez had the same net code incident that happened a while ago. Unfortunately, it's putting him 3 laps down, and I do not know why it shows these guys out. Sean Stevens Dustin Logston. Looking at the field here. All right, well, it looks like Sean Stevens is done for the night. Its pace car will dive off down to the safety of pit road. The Chevyland green flag going to be back out here in just a second. They get to the Geico restart zone. Flag man got the green flag in his hand. Green flag's back out, folks. Chevyland green flag restart. Here we go, back on the loud pedal. Lap number 22 of 94. Again, big shout out to Chevyland for sponsoring the green flag racing tonight. Also, big shout out to David Overstreet and all the guys at CFM, Checker Flag Motorsports, for sponsoring tonight's race. Definitely proud to call these guys friends, and well, I hope we don't have the same issues we've been having. Of course, I don't have the new overlay yet for CFM, but I am trying to get that worked on. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it that we've got to get going. So we watch these guys racing it down the tri-oval. Coming back to the start and finish line, Stephen Miles, Gabe Butler, Stephen Luttrell, Jimmy Reynolds, C.J. Erdman running at your top 5. Dana Shepard actually moving now into 5th place spot. Actually 6th place. He is swapping back and forth with C.J. Erdman. Looking at the battle here. Look at the weather. 16 mile an hour, 17 mile an hour wind. We are at a 76 degree air temperature, partly cloudy here at Talladega, and 106 degree track temperature. Really no organization. We are 4 wide. That is the 543 of Payson Lindsay. The 31 of Scott Wise. Guys are trying to find a hole to get into. Looking back. Now we are back side by side racing back through the field here. That looked like the 13 of Andy Brigante back here. No, that is Mr. Sanchez, Rick Sanchez, trying to make his way to get a lap back. He is right behind the 388 of Doug Johnson. Doug drops it down to the low line. That is John Guerrero in front of Rick Sanchez. As the 543, Payson Lindsay goes up to the high side, back down to the middle lane. Doug Johnson right there in the low side, back up to the front though. With Stephen Miles, pretty good lead on the 44 of Jimmy Reynolds as he is getting pushed by the 3 of Alex Green. Shepard is dropping back. He has actually went back to 12. I like what he was seeing out there. That low line just maybe feels a little bit better to him. These guys are side by side racing throughout the field. Looking back here through the field, Everett Lane back here in at 30th. Everett had a pretty good start. Everett dropping down to the apron. Got to be careful down there. Kenneth Bishop, he is out there by himself. Does he have damage? Looks like he might have some damage on his car. We are going to look here. Looks like he does have some damage to that left front. Almost looks like that right front might have some damage as well. Unfortunately, he is out here by himself, so he is not going to be up to speed. As we look back up to the front here, seeing a lot of movement. We're back 3 wide here, folks, up to the front. Stephen Miles still your leader. Gabe Butler in second, Stephen Luttrell third, Jimmy Reynolds in fourth, Vicente Guerrero in fifth. Our biggest mover right now is actually the 01 Stuart Broderick, up 21 spots. Just fell back to 20th, back to 20 spots, but he is losing spots, falling back to 19th. Looking at something here, folks. Give me just a second. We're going to look at our pit strategies. A new little tool we have here. Shows how many laps they bid out. NASCAR man got taken out early, rooting for CJ and Payson. Yo, there he is. Anthony English, our good buddy out there in chat. How you feeling, Anthony? You want to give us an update, buddy? I'm assuming NASCAR man, is that you, Brandon? Awesome, man. I hate that you're not. Like, yeah, I feel bad for you, Brandon. I've been in your shoes, but just gotta, man, just gotta reset the script, come back next week, and hopefully avoid this stuff. Okay, so Anthony, you passed out sitting around, like just fell asleep, or like medically passed out? Come on, man, you can't scare me like that. Well, I hate that they didn't let you go home. I thought we were hoping. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Brandon. All right, buddy. Well, I know you're here, so we're going to look. Rick said somebody vandalized his car. He's pretty sure it was an inside job is what he said. But we're going to show you this. So, somebody hit him with the DX green and decided to change his number for him. So even put the mellow yellow on the hood. He, like I said, he said he thinks he's pretty sure it's an inside job. As we are trying to go 3 wide, that's Vicente Guerrero to the outside. Of course, Anthony, Mr. Jimmy Reynolds there running your paint tonight in the 44. Looking good out there. Vicente Guerrero and Gabe Butler, time-wise, what was showing qualified with the same time, so I'm guessing it come down to who had just the slightest faster lap, and it was Vicente that ended up getting the pole tonight. But Jimmy Reynolds has taken a lead. They are coming up on some lap traffic. That is Everett Lane in the 24. He is going to go up to the high side. Now these guys have been out here quite a few laps, so I didn't get what the fuel percentage was tonight. I'm assuming it's probably going to be about the same, about 43% fuel. So we're probably looking at these cars somewhere around the 18-19 lap mark, maybe a little bit more. We've had a pretty good field tonight. Started with 36 cars. Unfortunately, we've lost some because of accidents and having to use a fast repair, then getting caught up. We've had a couple of cautions tonight so far. But looking back through the field, everybody is kind of hanging out here as we see the 9 car going up to the high side. That is, I believe that is, who is the 9 car? I don't even see the 9 car. Of course, unfortunately, Kenneth Bishop is back there by himself. I believe the 9 car is Dustin Sorber. Supposed to be in the 538, but he is running the 9 car tonight. Now we're getting back up toward, oh, big wreck. Jimmy Reynolds up into Vicente Guerrero. Several other cars getting involved. Well, looking at this here, we are going to get on Vicente. We're on Vicente. We're going to go back here. Ooh, blinked out. Where is Jimmy Reynolds at? I got to find his car. Where is his name? It looked like he blinked out about the time that he hit Vicente. Let me get on Vicente here. He disappeared, all of a sudden just reappeared. Goes right up into Vicente. Scott Wise getting a piece of it as well. Of course, several other cars getting tagged. Looks like Steve Rada, Alex Green, or that's Alex Green, I'm sorry. Getting a piece of that as well. John Guerrero getting a piece of it. A lot of guys diving down to the apron. Scott's trying to save it. Somehow saves it, gets around those guys. And then looking back here, we got several cars. That is a 78 of Chris Jordan, the 56 of Mike Edgerton, the 59 of John Guerrero, 38 of Stephen Luttrell, Everett Lane coming up on the high side, and then the cars back here locking it down. That is a 16 and 8 Warren, the 37, as they go up underneath. We are back live here. Guys coming down pit road. We probably getting close to green flag pit stops when that caution came out. Of course, I've got to get with the guys at Nerditudes to get some stuff sorted out on my timing screens. Lets me know like how many fast repairs. No, it's still not drawing the cars for me, Anthony, like I want them to. I'm not sure what's going on, why it's doing that. I've changed everything that you told me to change, and it's still not doing what it's supposed to be doing. But well, Payson Lindsay is your leader. Stephen Miles in second. Stephen Luttrell third. Stuart Broderick fourth. Gary Bergeron fifth. Dana Shepard moving up to sixth. Mark Mann in seventh. Lynn McNeese in eighth. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring Mr. Lynn up to the booth. Hopefully we don't give him that broadcaster's jinx. Lynn, how you doing?
You better
buddy?
not.
How you doing, buddy?
We doing good. How about you up there?
You know, it's been a rough day, brother, to be honest with you. Like I said, losing that she was like a second mom to me, or third mom. I got so many. It's just been kind of rough. So.
Sorry to hear about that. I really, I hate that. I know what it's like there.
Yeah, but man, you know, Rick Sanchez having some issues with that weird net code I think got him again. But what are you seeing out there on the track tonight?
I've been hanging back there in the back, so all I've been seeing is a bunch of smoke and cars going everywhere.
Well, you're not. Doesn't look like you're getting too involved in it. I think you kind of skirted around that one up on the high side, but I know you got caught up in the one a little bit earlier. Of course, you know.
Yeah, somebody's brakes wasn't working that well, so
Well, it looks
I
like
had it missed.
it looks like you got some help, Bubba, coming out in front of you there. So.
Yeah, we got that Andy right there, so.
So it looks like you're going to be all right. Well, we just wanted to bring you up here to kind of get some driver perspective. Of course, Anthony's out there in chat as well, watching the race. And
well, it's good to say he's out there watching it. From what he went through, that's a heck of a surgery, and glad he's doing good or better, you know, and wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, good luck, and hopefully I didn't mess you up because.
We're going to need some luck. I got the rabbit's foot hanging up here hoping for the best. So.
All right, brother. Well, have a good one, man. Be safe. We'll holler at you later.
All right, buddy. You have a good one.
We'll move him back down there. Good to visit with Lynn. Of course, we're looking back up at the front as the lights on the pace car are out. Yeah, I appreciate it, Anthony, man. It's, like I said, it was, it's just hard to, sometimes some of them hit you a little bit harder than the others, but 10 years on Thursday, the 8th, I lost my dad in a car wreck, and now this, you know, even though it's 10 years later, but I know she's up there with my dad. They're both looking down on me. I know that, so it's just rough. Well, guys, pace car dives off down to the safety of pit road, coming to the Geico restart zone, waiting on that Chevy-Land green flag once again. Chevy-Land green flag back out, folks. Here we go, back racing on the loud pedal here at Talladega. Of course, round 2 of the OP Unlimited Series presented by Buttkicker. Payson Lindsay getting a good jump. Got Stuart Broderick right behind him, but Stephen Luttrell looking to make a run on that outside with Gary Bergeron. Dana Shepard in 5th right now. Falling back, though. I don't know what's going on with Dana, but he is falling back. Of course, that outside line, Jeremy Stanley making it 3 wide with the 963. That is a C.J. Erdman. Mason still out front right now, going up to that second lane, trying to slow these guys down. Going back down in front of Stuart Broderick. Throwing some blocking, looks like to me. But you've got Stuart. Ooh, Dana with a hard shot on the 0-1 of Stuart Broderick. Got Stuart just a little bit loose. Good recovery. Of course, these cars do not, in my opinion, do not bump draft well. They do get pretty squirrely. Even if you hit them center, it still likes to jerk that car to one side or the other. Payson trying to make that car 2 lanes wide as he jumps back up in front of Steve Luttrell. Now drops it back down in front of Stuart Broderick. Trying to slow that outside line down just a little bit. But at outside line, the 36 of Stephen Luttrell, Gary Bergeron, the 963 of C.J. Erdman, the 31 of Scott Wise, and the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Getting that run now, Payson back up to the top line again, once again. Getting a push by Stephen Luttrell, but here comes Stuart Broderick with Dana Shepard down on the inside line. Coming around turn 3 and 4, Stuart Broderick did take the lead. Got Dana Shepard right behind him. Outside lines trying to form up a little bit more, get a little more organized. Of course, Rick Sanchez out there on that outside line too, but he is a couple of laps down. Gary Bergeron going a little bit high. That gets CJ a little bit out of sort as well. We're coming down the back stretch, lap 43 of 94. Well, I think this is about as good time as any, folks. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of crank it up just for our viewers here tonight at Talladega. Hang tight, folks. We will be right back right after. Back as soon as we get back, though, get a big wreck. Look like Dana Shepard up on his roof. Let's see. What happened there? don't think that was the one we were looking for. There we go. I'm still trying to get used to which button does which here, folks, as we're going to get a rewind on this. Actually, looked like it happened right there with Gary Bergeron. Well, let's get on a chase view here. If I can get my mouse to work. Let's see if we can get on Gary. Ooh, Scott Wise with the bump on him. It looked like it was a pretty decent bump draft. And Gary's dropping it down to the end, to that second lane, getting behind Stuart Broderick. And looking at Scott was right there. That's part of that draft package from these cars. And that just sent Dana Shepard around. Dana goes up. Trying to get on Dana now. Oh, man. Come on. .963 is CJ right up underneath Dana. Dana up on his lid. And then Mike Edgerton, really nothing for Mike to do. Mike looked like Mike had quite a bit of damage. 31 Scott Wise. There is Sanchez getting a piece of it. Jeremy Stanley locking it down, trying to get around. Unfortunately, that puts Dana back towards the back. Rick Sanchez down on pit road. Mike Edgerton as well coming out. Looks like he's still got some right front damage maybe. Yeah, unfortunately with the new SDK, I don't have a caution counter. So I don't know. Looking at your top 10, Stephen Luttrell, that is Payson Lindsay, Stuart Broderick, CJ Erdman, Stephen Miles, Thomas Lockwood, Dana Shepard. You see them switching spots. Lights on the pace car are out, folks. Dana Shepard did take his fast repair. It looks like he is back out on the track. Looks like we have lost Sean Stevens, Dustin Logston, of course, Brandon Pfeiffer, John Guerrera. Doug Johnson is back out on the track. Rick Sanchez coming back down pit road. So we are down to 32 drivers, folks, here at Talladega tonight. And your top 5 right now, we'll turn the top 10 back on. Payson Lindsay out front. Stephen Luttrell second. C.J. Erdman third. Stuart Broderick fourth. Dana Shepard fifth. Gary Bergeron sixth. Thomas Lockwood seventh. Stephen Miles in eighth. Andy Brigante ninth. Adam Kilday up into 10th spot. A guy we haven't really talked about much tonight. It has been Adam Kilday. But he is up 11 spots from where he started. Jimmy Reynolds running the 44 car. The damage on the 31 is still pretty extensive. That is Scott Wise. Scott Wise back in 28th spot. One lap down, Chevrolet green flag back out once again, folks. A little bit behind as Stephen Luttrell gets a run on the inside with Stuart Broderick. Now here comes the 963 of C.J. Erdman and the 543 of Payson Lindsay. Trying to get that outside line to go. There goes the 1 car, the 10 car actually. Gary Bergeron to the outside with the help of the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Of course, Jeremy is a lap down, I believe. No, he is not. He is on the lead lap. Now Bergeron and Stanley dropping back down to that second lane. Stephen Luttrell going to lead a lap here tonight with the 543 of Payson Lindsay on the outside with the 963 of C.J. Erdman right there with him. No. We'll wait and see if we can't visit with Dana here shortly, because I'm sure that we will have another one of those yellow things come out. Payson Lindsay getting a good push out to the front in front of Stephen Luttrell right now. They got him around start and finish line. Here comes the 963 of C.J. Erdman back in that second lane with the number 1 of Gary Bergeron, the 60 Jeremy Stanley. Adam Kilday trying to get in the mix here on that outside line, as well as Nate Warren. That is the 3 car of Alex Green trying to make a run on the outside. I don't know if I believe Alex is a lap down as well. But he does have the 16 of Nate Warren right behind him. Looking for Alex. He is in 25th. Yes, he is a lap down. As we go back 3 wide here, that is Nate Warren, Jeremy Stanley, and I believe that is the 3 of Steve Rada. Trying to make that outside line. A big push there on the 16 of Nate Warren by the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Nate drops it down to that second lane. Going to get in front of Alex Green. Payson Lindsay battling it out here. We're going to go ahead and do the battle of positions. Ooh, big wiggle by Nate Warren. Alex Green right on his bumper. The 60 of Jeremy Stanley. The 3 of Steve Rada. Trying to make that outside line go, but they've only got 2 cars out on that outside line. These guys coming down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4, going to come around to the tri-oval. Ooh, another big wiggle there by Nate Warren. That's Everett Lane going down to the apron. Got to be careful about going down there. Nate Warren drops it down to that inside line in front of Payson. Nate's going to lead a lap here. Here comes Alex Green trying to get his lap back. We'll put him back on the lead lap. Now Dana falling back to 8th, but really not much they can do. Of course, lap traffic is up here with them. Everett Lane being a lap down, I believe. Is it stuttering on my end, or really everything is looking pretty smooth? Let me make sure my screen health didn't change on me. No, everything is looking good, Anthony. Payson out to that second lane once again, trying to get around Nate Warren. Barely edging him out. Nate Warren, Payson Lindsay back and forth right now. And it could be YouTube. YouTube has been having some issues. Yeah, I just seen a little bit of a stutter there, Anthony, on my end on the YouTube preview. So it could be a little bit of a stutter issue with YouTube tonight, buddy. Alex Green right behind the 543 of Payson Lindsay. That is the 6 of Andrew Zonto going down to the apron. So far, it's been pretty decent racing, folks. We're looking back through the field here. Let's get on a TV follow. The single file back here from about Jeremy Stanley, Jimmy Reynolds, Adam Kilday, Vicente Guerrero, Stephen Miles, Kenneth Bishop, Gabe Butler, Nick Wing, Andy Brigante. And then this group, you got Bubba Winningham, Lynn McNeese, Rick Seabrands, Mark Mann. And then the X44 there of Rick Sanchez, but Rick is a lap down, maybe a couple of laps down. Chris Jordan back here in 22nd. And Ryan Callahan, Mike Edgerton. Kind of looking through here. Dustin Sorber missing his hood. Scott Wise back here by himself. Doug Johnson is down a lap as well, back here in 32nd. Of course, we lost John Guerrera, Brandon Pfeiffer, Dustin Logston, and Sean Stevens. But right now, Payson Lindsay got Alex Green, who got back on the lead lap right in front of him. Try not to lose that. Ooh, big move there by Payson. May have had to get a little bit of air in that car to cool it off. Let's take a look at Payson's car, because I was wondering what was on it. Let's get on a Chase. Tootsies. Ah. Daniel Samigo. I think Tootsies is a type of fruit candy, if I remember right. Well, guys, we could see a green flag pit stop here shortly. I do not think they can make it. Well, as a matter of fact, I know they can't make it to the end of the race. Well, here comes the 963 to the outside with Gary Bergeron, 16 and Nate Warren pushing Payson, but that 963, Gary Bergeron having a good run there, trying to get around Alex Green. Now, I know, Anthony, you haven't been around for a little bit, but at 43, 45%, we're probably looking at about 18, 19 laps in these cars. Or is it going to be a little bit more? I don't know if you can answer that by memory or not, buddy. But definitely glad to see everybody out there. 22 viewers right now, only 6 likes. If you haven't hit that like button, folks, please hit that like button as we are coming around lap traffic. That is the 31 of Scott Wise holding his line and making the rest of the field go around him. Yeah, I'm not either. I didn't get a chance to ask him. I should have got with him before the race. Adam Kilday makes it around Scott and is up here in 16th spot. Got the 44, 17/44, Jimmy Reynolds right in front of him. Looking back up to the front, though, we have a new leader, C.J. Erdman. But Gary Bergeron, Everett Lane, that is the 4 of Rick Seabrands, and the 04 Mark Mancheck up there from Rick, and Mark, Lynn McNeese right there with them as well. Gary Bergeron out there kind of spread out. Not sure if that lap traffic had something to do with that. There is a caution. Let's take a look here and see. It does that, and it gives me nothing. Well, that was the one where Dana Shepard went airborne, and then it blinks out on me. I'm not sure what's going on, folks, with that. It could have been, and I'm not sure why it did that or where it did it at, to be honest with you. We are back live. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I need to figure out why it's doing that, but we're going to look here through. All it showed was a yellow flag. Looked like Nick Wing was involved at that point. Nicholas Wing getting involved in something. Let's see if I can find Nick here. Nick is still down on pit road. Maybe trying to get some or maybe used all of his fast repairs and getting the damage fixed. Well, Payson Lindsay is going to be your leader. Lynn McNeese in second. Adam Kilday up to third. Jeremy Stanley fourth. Mike Edgerton rounding out your top five. Well, let's go ahead and let's see, is the pace lights still on? They are. We're going to go ahead and bring him up here. Dana, Steve up in the booth. You got a copy there, buddy?
Hey, I got you. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man, I guess. Pretty rough out there tonight. I know we had somebody, Ginger, was asking if we could interview you, so I thought, well, we got a caution here. Let's bring him up and see how you're feeling tonight, bud.
Well, it's been a rough one here. I just got a penalty for speeding, and I got wrecked here a couple times, so I've been struggling to try to stay to the front, but it's not really working well. So hopefully this will turn around here in the last 28 or so laps. I can get back to the front.
Well, you know, we talk about being in a rhythm, and you can get in a rhythm just the same on a super speedway as you can on a more technical track. As a driver, how do you mentally, how do you get back into that rhythm?
Well, you got to just worry more about what we're going to have at the finish. Try to get behind some people that are moving forward using the draft. And you usually pick up a rhythm by doing that with people just, tagging along. Once you get it, and you're around people that you can race with, then you're back into it.
All right, buddy. Well, looks like you're coming off pit road. We're not going to keep you any longer. Like I said, I know Ginger was asking if I could interview you, so I thought, well, I'll bring him up here while we're visiting here a little bit, buddy. Anthony's out there tuning in and rooting you guys on as well.
Yes, we miss him out here. I keep seeing his paints and all of his numbers out here. It gets a little distracting. I actually called somebody by his name earlier, so well, yeah, I hope he gets well soon, gets back out here with us, and gets back in his own cars again.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Well, good luck, man. Hopefully you can stay clean the rest of the race, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have a good night. We'll see you later.
All right,
hopefully
buddy.
At the end.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Heard from Dana Shepard there for just a second. I know he's got a lot going on. Those lights on the pace car are out once again. Yeah, it's even confusing to me sometimes, Anthony, when I see your car number and car paint scheme out there, but you're not in your car, dude. Well, there goes the pace car. Going to go down pit road once again here, folks. Getting ready for the Chevyland green flag. Flag man's eyeing the field, making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. Getting a call from NASCAR. Guys are closing up that gap, coming to the Geico restart zone. Chevyland green flag back out once again, folks. Lap 68 of 94. 26 laps to go here. Payson gets a good jump, good start. He is going to pull away, but here comes that 84 of Lynn McNeese with the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. Going to get around him with no help. Adam Kilday coming right up behind Payson, gives him a shot. Not enough to get him up front, but Lynn McNeese. Oh, absolutely. You know, we said this before, Anthony, and I'm going to say it again. You know, oh, hang on a second. 36 is Stephen Luttrell getting a little squirrely, but there goes the 8 of that is Stephen Miles. Ooh, big bump, big shove by Rick Sanchez. But that tells you what kind of community we have, not just, you know, for OP, but you know, oh, stay easy. Here we go, pacing around. Pacing Lindsay getting turned around. That's going to bring out another caution here, folks. We're going to look at this real quick. Right there. That was, we're going to roll this back just a little bit. There was a shove by Stephen Miles down into Stephen Luttrell, right down into Payson. Payson goes around. That would be I believe that is the Ryan Callahan, but right back up into Stephen Miles. Sanchez involved again. He does not have any fast repairs, so that might end his night. We'll just have to wait and see. Looks like Nate Warren involved, Bubba Winningham getting involved in that as well. Yes, it was. Stephen hard hit to that outside wall. A lot of these guys are checking up hard, trying to either save a fast repair or not get involved because they don't have one left. Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably going to end a few people's nights. Looking at your top 10 there, Lynn McNeese, Gary Bergeron, Jeremy Stanley, Mark Mann, but Lynn coming down pit road with Mark, Jeremy, Stuart Broderick. Looks like Adam Kilday, Stephen Luttrell. Whoa! Incident on pit road. That's Alex Green and the 84 of Lynn McNeese. But Gary Bergeron opted to stay out. And I believe that is the 538. It's supposed to be the 538 of Dustin Sorber staying out as well. Mark Mann back up here in third place right now. Jeremy Stanley in fourth. Adam Kilday rounding out your top 5. Jimmy Reynolds falling back to 7th. Started 6th, so he's only down 1 spot, but he's been involved in a couple of things. Unfortunately, I believe that Stephen Miles still down on pit road, as well as Vicente Guerrero. So not sure if that's going to end their night or not. Rick Sanchez probably ended his night. Andrew Zonto coming off a pit road. Scott Wise still down on pit road. And I believe that is it shows the 49, but I believe that is the 924 of Kenneth Bishop. Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's been a rough night for those guys. I would venture to say the 9 car is probably going to have to drop down and let these guys go by, unless he gets the lucky dog, which I don't know. I think he was hoping that nobody would stay out and he would get the wave around. He is going to go up to the high side. He is going to have to fall back to the back of the field. Everett Lane is back on the lead lap. He is currently in 10th. Again, no relation to me. Stephen Miles did make it back out on the track, as well as Vicente Guerrero and Scott Wise. Rick Sanchez is still down on pit road. It looks like we have lost several drivers tonight. Doug Johnson, John Guerrero, Brandon Piper, Dustin Logston, and Sean Stevens. Guys are coming around turns 4, 3, and 4. They will pace car will dive off down to the pit road once again. Gary Bergeron, your leader. The Chevyland green flag will be back out here in just a second. People are trying to get in their spots, it looks like. Here we go, Chevyland green flag back out once again, folks, on the loud pedal. 22 laps to go. I'm probably thinking they could probably make it. I don't know if they'd have enough for a GWC. They believe they're going to be able to make it on fuel for the remainder of the race. As these guys come down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4, Gary Bergeron on the inside. To the outside of him is the 84 of Lynn McNeese, the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. And the 01 of Stuart Broderick. On the inside, though, you have Gary Bergeron, Mark Mann. I believe that is Adam Kilday, Jimmy Reynolds. Jeremy Stanley right on the bumper of Lynn McNeese. Got to be careful about pushing off center in these cars, because you will definitely turn somebody. Looking back here, we are 3 wide back towards the back of the field, though. That is Stephen Miles in the middle. That's Steve Rada, looks like, on the outside in the 03 car. It is, as we are still 3 wide. Nate Ward on the inside, Stephen Miles in the middle. Back up to the front, though. We were looking at 3 wide for just a minute. Still battling out between Gary Bergeron and the 84 of Lynn McNeese. Mark Mann still on the inside with Adam Kilday and Jimmy Reynolds. Everett Lane back there as well. Now we're looking at 3 wide again. That is... That is the 6 of Bubba Winningham, Vicente Guerrero, Stephen Luttrell, or is that Thomas Lockwood? That is Thomas Lockwood and Stephen Luttrell. On that 3rd lane, there goes the 01 of Stuart Broderick, right up in front of Bubba. Sends Bubba up towards the wall. Good save by Bubba, back down in line, but we're spinning now. Bubba involved. That is the 9 of, well, he was a lap down. Several vehicles involved in that one. Let's take a look here, folks. That's the wrong one. I don't know why it keeps sending me to that one. That was the last crash. Let me see here. While that's playing, got to get back down to my event screen here. And I'm not seeing. Well, guys, I apologize. I'm still not able to get. Let me see if this will do it. If I could get my mouse to actually work. Well, I know it was Bubba Winningham was involved in that. Looked like maybe a bad push. Got him turned around. We'll see what happens, how much damage Bubba's going to be able to get fixed. Sitting here looking at my event viewer, but didn't even show the yellow flag pop up. Well, it wouldn't let me do it. I tried to do it, and yeah, it wouldn't let me do a manual rewind. Normally it does, but for some reason it wouldn't. Well, while we are under caution, I'm going to go ahead and step aside for just a second, pay a bill or two. Of course, our league sponsor, Buttkicker, this season once again. So hang tight. I will be right back, folks. All right, well, as you can see, your top 10 right now: Mark Mann, Adam Kilday, Lynn McNeese, Jeremy Stanley, Gary Bergeron, with Jimmy Reynolds, Stuart Broderick, Everett Lane, Alex Green, and Gabe Butler. Rick Seabrand's down on pit road. Looks like he may be getting some tires. And Thomas Lockwood down on pit road as well. Kind of going through here. Zonto. Looks like Zonto may be done for the night as well as Dustin Sorber. Nope, Dustin is out there. But Andrew looks like he has taken his car behind the wall. '06 is out of the race. Well, dang it, Andrew. Sorry about that, buddy. Yo, like they always say, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, so. Sure, if you want to come on up here, you're more than welcome to. Well, there we go, folks. We got a special guest up here in the booth as the pace car dives off the safety of pit road. Andrew Zonto, unfortunately, ended his night early. Man, I hate it for you, but green flag is fixing to come back out, Andrew. The Chevy Land green flag's waving once again. 15 laps to go, buddy. What was you feeling out there?
It was a long race. We kind of started like 3 laps down. Yeah, just try to get my laps back. Didn't really work. But the racing out there has been clean. It's been aggressive. A lot of these guys out here, they're liking the car and they're hating the car in some spots. It's really tough to get the car to stop under braking. So.
Well, of course, these cars are notorious for not block traffic very well. Looks like we're going 3 wide here. I'm trying to see who that was. It looked like Ryan Callahan out there, but Ryan, where is my mouse at? Looks like they kind of back into place. Well, that's Payson Lindsay trying to force it 3 wide, but he's finally got some help with CJ Hurd. Ooh, CJ getting a little wiggly there, Andrew. I know you ran around with those guys a little bit. Look at Payson is really forcing that 3 wide.
Oh yeah, that's very dangerous.
At least see some guys trying to keep them from moving up. Oh, that's Everett Lane coming up high on the 3 of Alex Green, but Payson and CJ is really trying to force that 3 wide.
Yeah, the third lane can really work well if you can get enough cars to go with you. The problem is as soon as you go out, it's kind of bit like the next gen car where you're in a parachute. But unless you have somebody behind you, you guys won't get going.
Well, we have a new leader now, Adam Kilday out front, Mark Mann right behind him on that inside line. Len McNeese, looks like Jimmy Reynolds and Payson Lindsay there on the inside, on the second lane. And then on the outside, it looks like that is the 60 of Jeremy Stanley. The 24 of Everett Lane, Alex Green. It looks like Vicente Guerrero may be out there with them as well.
Vincent Guerrero, you got to watch him in these closing laps. He can definitely get the job done.
He could definitely turn it up. I mean, we've seen what he did last week. But Adam Kilday and the crew down on that inside line with Mark Mann, Gary Bergeron, Stuart Broderick, Gabe Butler is not going to make it easy. Lenny Nice as well. They're on the inside or second lane as Jimmy Reynolds pushes it up to the outside of Payson Lindsay there right behind Lynn. Now, Payson is a fairly new driver, I believe. I know he's a new driver to OP, but he's done pretty decent.
He has. It takes a while to know the veterans in here. If you're a new guy coming in, you can kind of tell who's going to be working together and who's not. Especially when it's pit stops or in the closing laps. But if he keeps the car clean, he should be able to find a good races later in the season.
Well, Lynn dropped it down in front of Adam Kilday, but pacing Lindsay, C.J. Irvin on the second lane. Third lane's forming up pretty good. That is 16 of Nate Warren. The X44 of Rick Sanchez. Payson throwing a big block on the 16. But that kind of shut the door for him to get back down low, though. So we are 3 wide with 10 to go here, Andrew. Of course, we got Anthony out in our chat on YouTube right now watching the race. So it's good to see him out there doing pretty good from my understanding.
How you doing, Anthony? Miss you, man. Hope you get better.
He says, "Yo, Andrew." Of course, we're praying for Anthony, but we're still praying for Josh. You know, I did talk to Josh the other day on the phone, and he's actually getting his old Josh sound back, sounding like the old Josh. So he's still having some problems with losing his breath. That's to be expected. But here we go. You're talking about Vicente. Vicente on that second line right behind C.J. Erdman. Ooh, big move, big wiggle there.
Don't close it.
They're going to close it. We're going to be 4 wide here as Payson Lindsay goes to the outside. C.J. Erdman stuck there in the sucker hole, so to speak, by himself.
Now with Vincent, that entire lane right there in front of him. He's got clean air. Second car on the outside. The middle lane is a little bit better than the outside lane because the outside is not as organized. And it's basically his race to lose. He's in the prime spot.
Yes, he is. And, of course, looking at Payson Lindsay, he is still on that outside line. Now, Vicente getting a run with Everett Lane right behind him on that second lane. As we are 8 laps to go, but Payson is holding that third lane together really pretty well.
I've been seeing him. He's kind of been side drafting off of Vincent and Miles. The thing is, with these Xfinity cars, you get a little bit more of a side draft than you do with the trucks.
Okay.
The next gens, but with the Xfinity cars, the only way you can make that third lane really work, besides having a good line, is you got to side draft that middle lane.
Well, he is getting pushed right now by the 16 of Nate Warren, but Lynn McNeese has got a great pusher behind him with the 85 of Adam Kilday. Of course, Vicente still in that second lane. He with another good pusher there with 24 of, or 024 of Mr. Everett Lane. But it's really going to depend on what's going to happen with these next few laps. Especially coming down with 7 laps to go, be 6 at the line here. Vicente's going to lead that lap. Now, if you were running the second line, would you, if you got the run like you did right there on Lynn, had a chance to drop it down but didn't take it?
Nah, in my opinion, you want to be in that middle lane. Because if you can get that bump right perfectly off of 4, you can drop down right to the bottom and you're going to go right to victory lane. But again, it depends on who your pusher is.
Right.
Now, Vincent and Miles are, I believe they are teammates. So I wouldn't see Miles jumping out before the tri-oval just try to screw up Vincent. He might try at the end of the if he gets it.
Well, Stephen Miles is a lap down. He is back here in 26th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everett Lane. My bad.
Well, Everett just jumped to the high side in front of Payson. There goes the 85 of Adam Kilday in front of Vicente. Now we are still 3 wide here, folks. You got Lynn McNeese on the low line, Vicente Guerrero in the center, second lane, or Adam Kilday, I'm sorry, with Vicente. And then you got Everett Lane pacing Lindsay on that third line. We are coming to 4 to go when they cross the line, but you look down there on that low line with that 84 of Lynn McNeese.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we're wrecking. That took out several.
That's the whole
Ooh.
field.
The 16 of Nate Warren takes a ride. We're going to look back at this here. Why is that not working? I cannot get my camera controls to work. It'll do the rewind, but it won't let me do. We're going to just have to do a rewind here, folks. And we're going to go on a chase view here as we are on Lynn McNeese. Right there, we're going to pause that. And we are going to go to that was on Lindsay.
Well, to Lindsay's credit, the 24 did wash up, and he did have a little bit of a run, and there's a gap there. He took it, but ever thought that probably, still a little bit too early to make a move like that, but it's coming to 4 to go. You got to make your moves.
Well, yeah. What I meant by that is Lindsay was involved. I wouldn't say it was his fault. But you're right. Everett did kind of wash up. And we've seen the 16 of Nate Warren taking a ride there. Stuart Broderick somehow, I don't know if he got a piece of it as well. Alex Green got a piece of it. Jeremy Stanley's got some damage. Looks like Stewart might have avoided most of that. Vicente got a lot of damage. Jimmy Reynolds looks like he was able to come through unscathed on that as well.
Ooh. Stuart Broderick getting through that wreck.
Well, folks, this will be our first GWC. Right now, Lynn McNeese, Mark Mann, Gary Bergeron, Payson Lindsay. But Payson has some damage to that left rear. Now, what was y'all's, Benji was out there, what was y'all's fuel percentage and your laps you were able to get?
So our fuel percentage, I believe, was 8.4 gallons, and that kind of gave us a baseline of about 18.6 laps. If you topped off and you're able to save a lot, max fuel you can do is probably 20 in the draft, saving the entire way. But since we had that caution about 10-ish laps ago, I see everyone making it to the end. But if we get multiple green-white checkers, fuel might come in a factor for probably like the top 5-6 guys.
Yeah, I was going to pull that pitch strategy up here real quick to see. Looks like they've got 11 laps since the last caution.
That was close.
So, yeah, we're looking at about 7 or 8 laps left here, folks, on fuel since the last caution. So they should have enough for at least one green-white checker, maybe 2. But yeah, some gingers out there. Looks like Shepard made it through. Yeah, Dana is up to 7th spot. We're looking at Dana right now. So look like those guys behind all of that wreck was able to get it checked up and slowed down for the most part. Of course, Payson does have a lot of damage to that car. Last on the pace car are out. He's got a lot.
Honestly, I'm re-looking at the wreck he was in. It looks like it's only just some aero damage.
Yeah, but aero damage on a super speedway could cause a problem.
Oh,
though.
absolutely. But the thing with these Xfinity cars is they're built like tanks. You can go right into the wall and be completely fine. Just the one things that are fragile with the Xfinity cars, which cost me this race here, was the wheel damage. If you get hit squarely on the sides right near the wheels, your race is done. But with Lindsay, it just looks like it's just cosmetic damage.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything with his wheels that would cause an issue. Looks like they were all rolling pretty good.
Yeah, but we'll find out when we get up to speed how much that aero damage is really going to hinder him.
As we come around turn 3, folks, this will be GWC attempt number 1. Of course, it's unlimited GWC attempts up to 15. Hopefully they won't need that many. If they can make it around 2 laps to get to the white flag, then we know that it's going to finish out the race. But Andrew, appreciate you coming up into the booth with me, buddy. It's good to visit with you. Good to talk to you. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. Had no interview last season, so it's gonna come up in the booth and hang out with you.
You never know
I can
what's
feel
going.
the neat toys you got.
How do you like the new graphics?
I love them.
They did a good job. Of course, our partnership with Nerditudes, the Chevy Land Green Flag, is back out. Of course, I got to give a shout out to Dustin, Logston, and Peter DeBorja. Them guys really got with me and kind of showed me the ropes of SDK. I got the subscription, and man, I'm really digging it. It's the ease of use is so much, really so much easier than ATVO was.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got a caution.
Already, let's see what caused it.
Looks like it was Miles in the back.
Stephen Miles and Doug Johnson getting into each other. Let's take a rewind here. Oh, no, I want to rewind.
Make it reviewed by the admins. They were bumping, beating, and banging after they crossed the start-finish line. They did that through the entire corner.
Yeah, that started back here. Looks like Doug may have been pulling up to that second lane to stay in that car. Stephen Miles. Oh, and then it does that. What in the world?
I mean, to at least for Miles' credit, like, Dustin's 21 laps down, and he's racing a guy on the lead lap. Kind of like that. I don't know if they may have some beat before. Maybe Dustin wasn't really good in the draft and he wanted to stay in the draft. But then this is going to be interesting after the race.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they say, what they're going to do. Right now, Mark Mann is your leader. Payson Lindsay in second. Lynn McNeese third. Stuart Broderick fourth. And Gary Bergeron rounding out your top 5. So this will be GWC attempt number 2 here, folks, tonight. Stephen Luttrell out there in chat.
What's up, Steven? How you doing, man? Weren't you racing tonight, man? Right.
Yeah, it looks like he might have taken his car behind the wall, so his night may be ended early as well.
I am listening to Mark Mann. He is coasting that car, so this might be his last go at it before you may have to pit.
It's very possible.
Yep, Lindsay's coasting.
CJ out there in chat. That would be CJ Erdman. I'm looking at our field here, Andrew. Looks like Kenneth Bishop down on pit road. Scott Wise as well. Bubba Winningham. So we are down to about 26 drivers now after starting with 36 in the field, so 10 vehicles.
I mean, shout out to OP for having a stellar field last week and this week as well.
Yeah, I think we had 38 or 40 last week.
I actually have the standings up. We had 39 people race 1.
Okay, so pretty
36 race 2?
Yep, not a bad start to the new season.
Points are definitely going to be a factor this season. Yeah, my bad start didn't happen.
Now, did you start in pits tonight?
I did. I was tossing out the trash, doing the dishes, and I look at the clock and I saw it was 9:12, and I'm like, oh no, I missed the start. I get back upstairs. I got on my controller, and by the time I went, I was 3 laps down.
Steve, don't sell your rig, buddy. Trust me, I've been through the spell of bad races myself, getting, run over, taken out, whatever, getting caught up in other people's stuff. I mean, it happens, brother.
It does.
You just gotta take the good with the bad sometimes.
Steven, 2 seasons ago, I had about 6 top 5s and I had like about 15 top 10s. Last season, I had 1 top 5, 4 top 10s. And already 2 races into this season, I've even finished 25th. So, you're going to hit your highs, you're going to hit your lows. All it's going to take is, it's going to take some luck and some good people around you.
Well, the pace car dives off down to pace safety of pit road. And of course, Dustin Sorber out there in chat said his computer just shut down during the race. That sucks. Well, here we go. Coming to the Geico restart zone. Chevrolet green flag back out, folks. Here we go. On the loud pedal, GWC attempt number 2. Mark Mann on the inside. I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm saying, just look at your graph. All the top guys are at 19 laps. So this is the one and only time.
Yeah, so this will have to, they'll have to get something going here. We come down the back stretch. Mark Mann out front, Lim McNeese on the inside, Stuart Broderick as well. Payson Lindsay, I believe that is the 01 is Stuart Broderick right behind him. But on the outside line, Dana Shepard, Gary Bergeron moves up. Lim McNeese moving up, looked like throwing maybe a block, but Dana Shepard moving up on that outside line as well. But we see a 4 wide here, trying to get things sorted out. White flag in the air now, Andrew. Whatever happens is going to happen. Mark Mann on the inside, Lee McNeese in that middle lane with Payson and Lindsay on the outside. Gary Bergeron, Dana Shepard trying to get that third lane going. Mark Mann, that's the 37. I believe that is
Nick Wing.
Nick Wing. Should be the 049 on that inside line. Gary Bergeron, Dana Shepard, Andy Brigante on that third lane. Here we go, coming around turn 4, final lap. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Lim McNeese still staying strong on that second line. Mark Mann getting turned. Oh, no.
Mark got turned. Rick got turned.
Oh, man. What is
It's going to be Lynn.
Lim McNeese, Gary Bergeron, Adam Kilday. Man, unbelievable. We're going to go back here. We're on Lynn right now. But everybody just blinked out all of a sudden. That has to be my iRacing or something in my settings. But your top 3, though, Lim McNeese, Gary Bergeron, Adam Kilday. Let's see if we can go back and see.
If you're struggling to get it up, I'll try to describe it. Nick just looks like he just bumper hooked Mark.
It all started right there. Let's get up here to Nick. Where is... Now we're going to get a frame by frame here, folks. As we can see, yeah, he was right up trying to push Mark, got off center. That just got Mark spun. And we are looking right here. Gary Bergeron getting pushed by Dana Shepard. Pushed him down into Jimmy Reynolds, right down into Rick Seabrands. Collected Bergeron, and then Seabrands up into Dana Shepard, Andy Brigante, Vicente Guerrero, Nick Wing got turned, Payson Lindsay. Somehow Gary Bergeron, well, that's where it blinked out on me.
And someone hit the rear end of Gary and kind of pushed him down all the way from the top lane into Rick and basically saved his race.
We're trying to get...
Oh, it was Dana that pushed him.
We are trying to get back on our top 3 here. Well, that's going to bring us to our post-race interviews. Give me just a second, folks. We're going to step aside, get our top 3, and then we will be back here in just a second. All right, folks, we are back. We have caught up with our, well, top two, right, or top three, but we're still waiting. Did you ever get anything back from Gary?
I have not.
I'm seeing people, I'm seeing Discord move around, but, well, we're going to go ahead and get our third place finisher here tonight. Adam Kilday finishing third. Mad, you made up a lot of spots. You started back towards the back. Looks like in about 24th, 23rd, 24th, 22nd, somewhere around in there. Man, what a race! You know, hard fought, hard racing throughout the whole night.
Yeah, I mean, I probably definitely should have finished somewhere just outside of the top 10 on that final lap. It's just unfortunate to see Mark Mann getting turned out of the front. So it looked like he had the momentum coming out of 4 into the tri-oval to possibly steal the win on this one. So he probably deserved this win considering the circumstances that happened last week with him. But yeah, hate to see that. But yeah, when everything unfolded in the tri-oval with that massive wreck, it just I think I just sent it to the low line and just hoped no one would come down into my outside from up above, and yeah, we squeezed out a P3 luckily at the end.
Well, man, let's talk a little bit about you know, these cars. We've talked about this before. The bump drafting in these cars to me are horrendous. They don't bump draft, in my opinion, as well as some of the other cars, as you know, like the trucks and I think ARCA cars are probably just as bad. But how do you, as a driver, how do you prepare, or how do you combat the rough bump draft in these cars?
Really, I would say it's probably just trying your best to push the guy in front of you square as possible. And there's a way like you can time up like a bump to the guy and give him a good shot to surge out ahead, but you pretty much have to hit him dead square even on the backside, and you have to like carry a certain amount of momentum, I think. Like if you're pulling up on the guy in front of you too fast and you slam him, it may put him out of shape. So it's finding that right speed interval to hit the dude, and just being square all the time for the pushes is like a main key for pushing in these cars, I believe.
Just got to find that sweet spot, right?
Yeah, it was when they updated it, I think like last spring or whatever. They adjusted like the damage model on the back of the car itself, is what they said in like the patch notes. And
Gotcha.
since then, it's ever since they did that, you barely touch the dude, and it'll send them left or right and all that if you're off on the left side or off on the right side on the pushes.
Well, awesome job, buddy. Andrew Zonto came up here, called the rest of the race with me. Unfortunately, his night ended early. Andrew, you got anything for Adam?
Nah, just he was the lucky one out of everybody else. Got home
Yeah.
with a third place.
Golden horseshoe, as some people would say.
Well, I know Anthony has been out there and chatting it up with our viewers and rooting you guys on. So I know we're all still praying for him and Joshua for speedy recoveries. But we're going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you, Adam. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, things you want to give before you go celebrate?
Yeah, we'll do a shout out to the guys I was running with in Discord tonight. It was Mark Mann, Rick Seabrands, Nick Wing, Nathan Warren, and Xanto for the first half of that race, or however long you were in there for, Xanto. So we'll do that. We'll do another huge shout out to the man that's watching right now, Anthony English, dude. So all the guys keep bringing up, it's like not the same in Discord when you're gone, dude. So we hope to see you back in there soon with your mathematician mind for fuel strategy and all that stuff. So do that, and yeah, the broadcast, MaxspeedTV, and Stephen Lane, and you guys for doing the commentary and stuff, and OP League in general, and everything they do to keep this rolling. And yeah, that should about do it.
All right, brother. Well, congratulations on your P3. That's hard fought P3. Go celebrate, man, and well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll do, man. You're going to be racing on track with the 87s, or?
Oh, it's a fun race tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? I might join that. I'm not a big fan of the 87s. Never really have been, but you know what? It just depends, buddy. I'll see what I got going on. I may end up joining you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah, it could be fun. So I don't know if I'm going to be at my folks' place for Mother's Day. So we'll see where I'm at when David or whoever throws up that race tomorrow. So yeah.
All right, brother. Well, go celebrate, man. We will see you later.
I will do. Take it easy.
Move him down there. I'm sure he'll be wanting to visit with them guys in that team. Well, we're going to go ahead and bring him in here, but we got to give a shout out to our second place winner, Mr. Gary Bergeron, finishing second tonight. Unfortunately, he is not in Discord, so can't really visit with him. But congratulations to Gary on his P2 finish. Well, that is going to bring us to our race winner tonight. Oh, no, where'd your car go?
No, where'd it go?
I have no idea. It was out there on the track, but
it ran out of gas.
It ran out of gas. Well, Lynn, awesome job, buddy. Right place at the right time. Man, you made up 35 spots tonight. You started 36th, finishing first. Really good track position. We were talking about where you were running. That second lane kind of helped you out, but man, awesome win tonight, bud.
Oh yeah, we got lucky on that one tonight. I mean, I just stayed back there in the back early, just trying to avoid any of the wrecks and trying to save the car and not tear it up there early.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you felt out there tonight. What was it like? I know we had some new drivers up there. With Pace and Lindsay and CJ Erdman, really giving you guys a run for y'all's money tonight.
Yeah, and Pace and Lindsay, I got to give him credit. He was giving me the push there at the end there that really helped to get the win. He stayed right there with me, pushing right up to the end. So I had to thank him a whole lot.
Well, these guys are really coming into their own. Pacing with another top 10 finish this week. I think he finished in the top 10 last week. But you, Lynn, you've kind of been. I don't want to say on a tear, but you've been doing pretty good your last several races through OP and with CFM. Finishing in the top 5 and top 10s. What has been your contributing factor? What would you say has been helping you get to those positions?
When we have finished good, I'll give it credit to the lucky rabbit's foot we have here. But otherwise, they get these last laps, and I think Mark Mann would have won tonight. He had the inside run, and Nick was pushing him hard, and we had a good run going there. Like I said, Pace and Lindsay there was giving me a hell of a push going on, and I thought we was gonna have a good finish, and I hated that he got wrecked, but it's just getting lucky there and dodging the wrecks and not being involved in the big one there.
Well, awesome job, buddy. Of course, Andrew Zonto came up into the booth, helped me call the rest of the race. Unfortunately, his night ended early. Andrew, Anything you got for Lynn tonight?
Yeah. So I mainly saw you up front all race. Was that a different strategy than last week? Because if I remember last week, you stayed in the back most of the time. Are you trying to do things differently, or are you trying to be more aggressive early on in the season?
Well, I've been staying in the back trying to dodge early, and then trying to. If we get a good green flag pit stop, I was hoping to move it forward, but we never got those. But it just happened to be that we was in the right place at the right time. I guess they got lucky enough to not to be in the front. Because normally I try to stay in the back and try to dodge a lot of the mayhem that's going to happen, and try to get lucky and push forward there at the end, the last 20 or 30 laps. But tonight I got up there a little sooner than I was planning on, which may have to think about that because that actually played out pretty well for us tonight.
Well, looking forward, Lynn. Of course, I just realized we are off tomorrow night for CFM. I guess we're going to do a little fun run tomorrow night. Might see me out there on the track. Who knows? It is Mother's Day, and well, my wife might get mad at me if I try to ignore her for another night.
Nah, being that late at night, I'm sure if you've already took care of her during the day, she'll let you race that night.
Maybe. Well, of course, Anthony is out there. He's telling you a good win. He's been watching tonight, chatting it up with our fans and stuff out there on YouTube land. So, but awesome win, buddy. I'm going to go and turn the mic over to you. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give before you go celebrate?
Well, we definitely want to, have our thoughts and prayers for Anthony there after all that surgery he's went through with that triple bypass. We want to see him back out here in the racetrack when we can race him again and get well soon. Definitely want to thank all the guys at Checker Flag Motorsports and, Speedway Monkeys that help me every week that, push with us. And, the other guys and friends that we have up here on the track that help us every night when we do race up front. We got a lot of guys that are on different teams that really, they help push me on up there at times, and I help them when we can. So it's a really good friendship and camaraderie there of all the guys here that we race with, and I really do enjoy racing with all of them.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations again, Lynn, man. It's awesome to see you back in the winner's circle once again. Go celebrate, and, I know you're married as well, so happy Mother's Day to your missus, and man, go celebrate. We will see you tomorrow night.
All right. We appreciate y'all out there putting on a good show for us.
Appreciate it, Lynn.
Thank you.
We'll just put him down there right now. Well, Andrew, appreciate you tuning in or coming into the booth with me, buddy. We're going to go ahead and any last things you want to say before we go through our unofficial results?
Yeah. Overall, it was a great race. We had a lot of close racing. Didn't really get a green flag pit stop. But next week with Bumpy Daytona, with these Xfinity cars, that's going to be a really, really big challenge. I don't even know if we will get a green flag pit stop. But overall, these drivers are starting getting a little bit of a handle with the Xfinity cars. And hopefully next time when I talk to you, I'll be in victory lane.
Well, that sounds good. Let's hope. I hope we see you, next week. Of course, Monday night is the opening night for OP Monday Night Premiere Series. We'll be live right here on MaxspeedTV. I will be calling the action for you guys on Monday night as well. But again, Andrew, appreciate you coming up here, buddy. And it's always good to visit with you and get a driver's insight into what's going on out there.
Absolutely. Anytime, man.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to bring us to our unofficial results here on MaxspeedTV for the OP Buttkicker Unlimited Series. Of course, tonight's sponsorship, Checker Flag Motorsports 250. So big shout out to David Overstreet and the guys over at Checker Flag Motorsports for sponsoring tonight's race. Of course, Liv McNeese, your winner tonight. Gary Bergeron finishing in second. Adam Kilday third. Alex Green fourth. Stephen Miles moving up to fifth. Dana Shepard finishing sixth. Chris Jordan seventh. Stuart Broderick at eighth. Gabe Butler finishing ninth. And Nathan Warren rounding out your top 10. Everett Lane finishing in 11th. 12th was Vicente Guerrero. At 13th, Jeremy Stanley. 14th, Andy Brigante. 15th, Rick Seabrand. 16th, Ryan Callahan. The 17th, Jimmy Reynolds. And the 18th spot was Kenneth Bishop. 19th was Payson Lindsay. Had a great night tonight, but awesome job by Payson. Unfortunately, finishing in 19th. Nick Wing in 20th. Mark Mann looking to secure a victory tonight. Unfortunate bad push. It put him in 21st. Scott Wise finishing 22nd. Mike Edgerton 23rd. Steve Rada 24th. Bubba Winningham in 25th. Dustin Sorber having the computer issues in 26th. Stephen Luttrell finished in 27th. CJ Urban in 28th. Finishing 29th was Rick Sanchez. Rough night for Rick tonight in that X44 car. 30th, Doug Johnson. 31st, Thomas Lockwood. 32nd, our good friend here, Andrew Zanto. 33rd, John Guerrero. 34th, Brandon Pfeiffer. 35th, Dustin Logston. And 36th was Sean Stevens. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight here on Max Speed TV. Do appreciate everybody tuning in. And, of course, we wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day tomorrow as we finish out tonight's broadcast. Glad everybody tuned in. Glad everybody was able to, let's get rid of some of this stuff. Join us tonight here on Max Speed TV. Again, big shout out to the OP guys, all the admins and everything here. Of course, Anthony, we're still praying for you, buddy, for the speedy recovery. Glad you tuning in and getting the watch. Of course, Ginger Parent out in chat. Dustin Sorber tuning in as well. What is going on? CJ Erdman out in chat as well. Of course, Andrew joining me in the booth. In chat for a second there, coming up here. Brandon Pfeiffer out in chat as well. William Luttrell out there. Looking here, Daniel Parent, Ginger Parent. Kaylin Thomas out there cheering on Stephen Luttrell. I'm looking through here. Am I missing anybody? I know Brendan Kennedy was out there. Belva Feltz tuning in tonight as well. So, of course, again, big shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there watching and, not watching. Just happy Mother's Day in general. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight here on Max Speed TV. Of course, tomorrow night, no broadcast, but we will be back Monday for the opening night of the for the OP Premiere Series right here on Max Speed TV. Of course, they did swap up. They will be in the trucks this season for the Premiere Series, which I know some of the guys are happy about that, Andrew.
Absolutely.
So until then, folks, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be careful. Glad you tuned in. Stay safe. And we will see you guys Monday night.